right, Matt.
Baby, if you spit like that every time, you can have 10% of my paycheck. Alright, so tonight is going to be a little bit different for me. Normally I get up here and say faggot a lot and make people laugh, but this is going to be different. September is a really hard month for me. About a year ago, a very, very good friend of mine committed suicide. September 30th will actually be 365 days to the point, and I have thought about Joel every single day since then. And the thing that gets me about it is that about a year beforehand, he told me what he was thinking, you know, how he was feeling, and there was always something about him. People that he'd never met before saw something in him, and there was always something wrong. And it got to the point where it would get bad, and it would get really bad, and then it would go from bad to worse. So for somebody like him who just was in this constant state of up and down, and mostly down to be honest with you, he called me one night and we were talking, and I could tell that, you know, it had gotten bad for him again, and he said that he had been thinking about killing himself. And so, I mean, I did the first thing that any friend would do, and I ran down to where he was, actually to one of the parking decks that's right over here. And, you know, I call him while I'm in the car, and I'm like, listen, just stay in your dorm room, don't. Just stay where you are. And he says, all right, you know, I'll be here when you get down here, but I'm going to be on the top floor of the parking deck when you get here. And he was. I mean, and he was over on the ledge, and the first thing that I did, or the first thing that I thought when I walked up those stairs was, please don't let him jump. And thankfully, I guess, I was able to talk him down, and because I wanted to keep him safe, you know, not just for that night, I called our campus police and I had him committed for about a week afterwards to make sure that he was under suicide watch and to make sure that I didn't have to worry about him. And because of that, I did not speak to him for about a year afterwards, because he just couldn't stand the sight of me because of what I had done. And I thought that that was okay. You know, my thoughts were like, as long as Joel is all right, you know, our friendship can take the sacrifice, and that's fine, because I want him to be okay. And then, like I said, a year later, on September 30th of 2011, he put a plastic bag over his head and attached it to a helium tank. And I'm not telling you this because, you know, I want to talk about this. I hate talking about this. But the thing is that this Sunday will be a year, and it has been a year of hell. Because every single moment that has gone by, especially up until recently, I've been telling myself, you should have tried harder. You should have done more. You should have stayed with him, even if he didn't. You should have gone to the hospital with him. You should have tried harder. You should have forced yourself onto him to make sure that he couldn't stay away from you, to make sure that he was okay. But it doesn't work like that, because, you know, once somebody makes their mind up about something, especially him, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. And like I said, this past year's been hell because of it. You know, there was someone else afterwards that followed in his footsteps. And then after that, there were 5 other people that made an attempt, people that I was close with. And it was like every single time I would wake up and hear, you know, somebody would text me and be like, it happened again. And I would blame myself for each and every one of them. And to be honest with you, I wasn't far from taking the same path that he did. And I'm not ashamed to tell y'all that today. And I know that I'm supposed to be. That suicide isn't something that we're supposed to talk about. And that's why I'm on stage right now. Because I need to tell everybody in here that if you're hurting, and if you feel like that's something you want to do, please don't. Because it's not like that, and it doesn't have to be that bad. And I mean, there's so many organizations that will help you, you know, that can reach out. I've done volunteer work with the Trevor Project, and, you know, I answer letters sometimes, and I know that it gets bad. I've been there. But the thing that I need to tell you is that even if you don't feel loved right now, if you feel like there's something going on, somebody, someday, will make it better for you, because it does get better. I'm better. You know, I wake up now, and instead of wanting to just go back to sleep because I can't handle life, it's a fucking miracle, man. And like, I need everybody in here to know that if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk to a friend of yours, you know, they'll listen. You may think that they won't or that they don't want to, but they do, because somebody somewhere loves you. Even if you haven't met them yet, even if you haven't realized that that's the way it is, because it is. I need everybody here to keep holding on. I did. And even if Joel didn't, even if those after didn't, you deserve to, and I need you to. So like I said, it gets better. So stick around and find out, because I promise that it does. Thank you.